Every year, millions of tires disappear from our roads, but they do not simply vanish. They pile up in massive fields of black rubber, stretching for miles, becoming one of the most persistent forms of waste on the planet. These tires do not rot, they do not dissolve, and once ignited, they can burn for weeks, releasing thick, toxic smoke into the air for decades. They have been treated as a problem with no real solution, something too tough to break down and too dangerous to ignore. But what if these same discarded tires could be turned into a valuable source of energy? What if the waste we struggle to manage could actually replace part of the fuel we extract from deep beneath the earth? In this video, we follow the complete transformation of an old tire as it is converted into usable fuel through an advanced industrial process. From collection and mechanical processing to extreme heat treatment in an oxygen-free environment, you will witness how solid rubber is broken down into oil, gas, and carbon materials. This is not just recycling, this is the recovery of energy hidden inside waste. And by the end of this journey, you may never look at an old tire the same way again. Before any tire can be converted into fuel, it must first be collected from the places where it ends up after use. These sources include auto repair shops, tire service centers, transport companies, scrapyards, and large industrial dumping sites. Collecting tires is only the beginning of a much more complex process. Used tires are extremely difficult to handle due to their size, shape, and durability. They do not compress easily and take up large amounts of storage space, making transportation and storage a logistical challenge. At collection points, tires are first inspected to separate usable waste from heavily damaged or contaminated material. They are then sorted based on size, type, and condition to ensure uniform processing later in the system. Once sorted, the tires are transported in bulk to recycling facilities, where the actual transformation begins. But before they can be converted into fuel, they must first undergo preparation to remove unwanted materials such as dirt, stones, and embedded debris. Once the tires arrive at the recycling facility, the first transformation begins. Not with heat, but with mechanical breakdown. Whole tires are too large and too strong to be processed directly, so they are first fed into heavy-duty shredding machines. These machines use powerful rotating blades to tear the tires into smaller, manageable pieces, while operating at low speed to reduce heat buildup and prevent material degradation. As the tires are cut apart, an important internal component is revealed. Every tire contains a reinforced steel structure embedded within the rubber, designed to provide strength and stability during use. After primary shredding, the material moves along conveyor systems, equipped with high-strength magnetic separators. These magnets extract steel wires and fragments from the shredded rubber stream with high efficiency. What remains is a cleaner rubber material, now free from most metallic reinforcement. This step is crucial because any remaining steel can interfere with later thermal processing and reduce fuel output efficiency. Once the separation is complete, the rubber is further reduced in size through secondary grinding. This creates a uniform material known as crumb rubber. At this stage, the tire has completely lost its original structure and form. After shredding and steel removal, the crumb rubber still contains impurities that must be eliminated before energy conversion begins. Small traces of dust, mud, sand, and road residue remain trapped within the material from years of use on the road. If these contaminants are not removed, they can reduce efficiency, damage equipment, and affect the quality of the final fuel output. To solve this, the rubber pieces go through a high-pressure washing system. Water jets thoroughly clean the material, while rotating drums ensure every particle is exposed and scrubbed. Once washed, the rubber is transported to a drying system, where moisture becomes the next challenge. Even a small amount of water can disrupt thermal processing by consuming energy that should be used for breaking down rubber molecules. The material is therefore fed into large rotary drying drums where heated air circulates continuously as the drum rotates slowly. The rubber tumbles inside, allowing moisture to evaporate evenly from all surfaces. Temperature control is extremely important at this stage. Too little heat leaves moisture behind, while excessive heat can begin to degrade the rubber prematurely. Once dried, the material becomes light, uniform and stable, ready for the next stage of transformation. The material is now ready for the most important stage of all, pyrolysis. The prepared crumb rubber is now fed into the heart of the system, the pyrolysis reactor. This is a sealed, high-temperature chamber designed to operate without oxygen. Its structure is heavily insulated to withstand extreme heat while maintaining complete control over internal conditions. Once the material enters the reactor, the environment is carefully controlled to prevent any combustion. Instead of burning, the rubber undergoes thermal decomposition, breaking down purely through heat. As the temperature gradually rises, the long polymer chains that make up the rubber structure begin to break apart. These complex molecules crack into smaller hydrocarbon compounds and transform into vapor. This vapor is the key to the entire process. It is continuously drawn out of the reactor to prevent pressure buildup and to separate valuable outputs. As the hot vapor moves through a cooling system, it begins to condense into liquid form. This liquid is known as pyrolysis oil and represents the main product of the entire system. It can be collected, stored, and further refined for use as industrial fuel. Not all of the vapor becomes liquid, however, a portion remains in gaseous form and is redirected back into the system to help maintain reactor temperature. This recycling of gas reduces the need for external energy input and improves overall efficiency at the same time. A solid residue begins to form inside the reactor. This material, known as carbon black, is rich in carbon content and can be reused in manufacturing applications. What remains after processing is a complete separation of the tire into three valuable outputs: oil, gas, and solid carbon. After separation inside the reactor, the system produces three distinct energy streams, each with its own industrial value. The first and most important output is pyrolysis oil. This thick, dark liquid is collected through condensation systems and stored in large tanks for further refinement or direct industrial use. In many cases, it can be processed into diesel-like fuel or used to power heavy machinery and industrial furnaces. The second output is non-condensable gas. Instead of being wasted, this gas is captured and routed back into the heating system of the reactor. This creates a self-sustaining loop where part of the energy needed for the process is generated internally. The third output is carbon black, a fine, solid residue left behind after the breakdown of rubber molecules. This material contains high carbon content and can be used in a variety of industries, including rubber production, inks, paints, and construction materials. In some systems, it is also used as a supplementary fuel source, depending on demand and quality. Together, these three outputs represent a complete recovery of energy and material from what was once considered waste. Instead of discarding tires, the process extracts every usable component and redirects it back into industrial use. What remains is not waste, but value, transformed through controlled thermal conversion. And while the fuel and materials leave the reactor, another form of transformation begins outside the plant, where part of this recovered energy re-enters everyday infrastructure, while one part of the tire is transformed into fuel and industrial materials. Another portion of its recovered output finds its way back into the world in a very different form. A major application of pyrolysis-derived materials is in road construction, particularly in asphalt production. Asphalt is one of the most widely used construction materials on Earth, forming the surface of highways, streets, and urban roads. To produce it, aggregates such as crushed stone and sand are first heated and dried in large rotating drums. This ensures that all moisture is removed so the final mixture bonds properly and remains durable under heavy traffic. Once prepared, the hot aggregates are transferred into a controlled mixing system. Here they are combined with heavy oil fractions and binding materials derived from refined industrial processes. This is where recovered tire oil can play a supporting role in certain applications, by contributing to the binder fraction used in asphalt mixtures. Inside the mixer, powerful rotating blades ensure every particle of stone is fully coated, creating a uniform and stable material. This mixture is carefully controlled in terms of temperature and composition, because even small variations can affect road strength and lifespan. After mixing, the hot asphalt is transported to construction sites while still maintaining high temperatures to preserve workability at the site. Specialized paving machines spread the material evenly across prepared road surfaces. Heavy rollers then compress the asphalt layer, ensuring a smooth, dense, and durable finish. As it cools, the surface hardens, forming a strong road capable of withstanding years of traffic and environmental stress. In this way, part of the energy recovered from old tires does not simply become fuel. It returns to infrastructure, supporting the very roads that vehicles travel on every day. Old tires that once filled landfills are now transformed into oil, gas, and valuable carbon materials. Each component finds a new purpose, whether in energy production, industrial manufacturing, or infrastructure development. Waste is no longer the end point of a product's life cycle. It is the beginning of a new one. However, this technology also reminds us that the real solution is not only in processing waste, but in reducing it at the source. As technology continues to evolve, processes like pyrolysis may play an even larger role in reducing environmental pressure and recovering hidden energy from discarded materials. And so the journey of an old tire does not end in silence or decay. It continues as fuel, power, and infrastructure, shaping the modern world in ways most people never see. If this journey changed the way you look at waste, stay tuned for more stories that reveal the hidden value inside everyday materials. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.